XRP and Bitcoin, my number 1 and number 2 holdings. And in my belief system, I like doing this on a recorded video so people can come back and visit this. By 2030, I believe Bitcoin and XRP will be number 1 and number 2. Now I'm going to explain my narrative on why I believe, or excuse me, why my number 1 holding is XRP and my number 2 holding is Bitcoin. So I'll first start with Bitcoin, then I'll back into XRP. Now just to be clear, I own a lot of different tokens. You know, people call them the ISO tokens. ISO is messaging, and there's cryptocurrency tokens, but people, if you say ISO tokens, they know what you're talking about. Things like HBAR, you got QNT, you got XLM, things like that. So I own many other cryptocurrencies and my bags are packed. But to be very transparent, I'm doing this video in 2025, February, as I'm gonna really start to mature my portfolio and I'm gonna condense it down to probably maybe 10, it depends. But I do know that for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be accumulating XRP and Bitcoin. So the reason why with Bitcoin, first of all, is I started to really research it at a very deep level when I started to see BlackRock get into MicroStrategy. So I just use logic when I invest. There's zero emotion, there's zero tribalism with me. I love the XRP community, freaking amazing, best human beings in the world. But I'm not tribal or attached to anything. I'm very stoic when it comes to things in my life. I'm specifically not going to attach to a commodity or a cryptocurrency, okay? So Bitcoin, 94% of the supplies, oh, no, I'm sorry, going back. So when I started to see BlackRock start to go deep into MicroStrategies, when Larry Fink was telling us that it was used for money laundering, all of a sudden it was like, wait, something is interesting here. So BlackRock started going all in on MicroStrategies. Vanguard and BlackRock are some of the top 3 holders in MicroStrategies. I saw that Michael Saylor was creating this whole Bitcoin narrative and creating a Bitcoin treasury, right? They still were MicroStrategies, and now they've rebranded to Strategy B, which is Strategy Bitcoin, okay? So that's when I started to see that, and then all of a sudden, I think it was around July 2023, don't quote me on the timeline, but Larry Fink came out and flipped and said, Bitcoin is a flight to quality. They were getting exposure through MicroStrategy, so if he thought it was used for money laundering, this is just my opinion, if he thought it was used for money laundering, then why would you be putting a bunch of income or a bunch of investments into MicroStrategies if you thought the company was using something that was used for money laundering? That part didn't make sense to me, or it did make sense to me. So then we come around to around July 2023, Larry Fink flips and says Bitcoin is a flight to quality just in case your country is debasing their currency, which was currently happening within America and is still happening every single day in America, with America having 3% purchasing power of the dollar. It's still the strongest currency in the world. So then we fast forward to January 2024, and then all of a sudden, boom, BlackRock launches a Bitcoin ETF. So I decided to start to get entry. I think it was July 20. I got it around 25,000. That was my first entry point. So you have to look at the charts. I don't know exactly when I started getting into it. I think it was back into 2023 or 2024. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start going in to Bitcoin. 94% of the supply is gone. Only 6% is left, which makes it very scarce. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in the world out of 8 billion people. They only mine 450 a day, and 80% of the supply has not moved. So I got out of my conspiracy mindset and said, there's something that we don't know, okay? So this is really important. This is where I go into this. Top 5 holders in Bitcoin. Satoshi, we don't know who that is. BlackRock is number 2, MicroStrategy is number 3, Grayscale number 4, and USA. So out of Satoshi, we don't know who that is. The top 4 outside of Satoshi are all American companies. So either they know who Satoshi is, or you can't beat it, join it. And I gotta think they know who Satoshi is. The largest asset manager in the world, who was tapped by the Federal Reserve in 2008 and 2020, is going all in on Bitcoin, who is one of the top 3 holders in MicroStrategy, who recently just increased their position in MicroStrategies by 5%, and then MicroStrategies rebranded to Strategy B. So I truly believe by holding Bitcoin, and now we got Trump, the crypto capital of the world, the crypto president, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. 16 states, as I'm recording this, are going through the approval process to create a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. So I truly believe for my daughter, my son, and my family and I, when we hold Bitcoin, we are holding something that is going to be historical. That's what I truly, truly believe. So I'm not touching my Bitcoin. I accumulate it every single day. okay? I buy the dips, and I'm working to accumulate as much as I can until my passing so I can pass that into my Rockefeller waterfall system, our dynasty trust, okay? Bitcoin I'm holding forever. It's a retirement policy because the beauty is that I can leverage against it tax-free because loans are tax-free. So that's why I'm invested in Bitcoin, okay? It's a commodity to me. It's like gold. Nothing else. I'm not going to transact with it. We'll use it to leverage to buy more assets. Then there's XRP. Well, number one, I was introduced to XRP when I didn't believe in cryptocurrency. And when I got introduced to XRP, the number one thing I said was, why are banks not using this? It's the first thing that I said when I pulled up what the technology was or what the cryptocurrency was. Now remember, I came from banking. I went to CBA Executive Banking School. We build banks in a SIM model, and I understand how systems, our payment systems work, Nostro Vostro, our slow DOS system that the banking system is. And immediately when I saw XRP, I'm like, this solves a massive, massive liquidity crisis that we have right now. So banks are in an old system, a DOS system. It goes up and through the Federal Reserve. And as messaging moves at the speed of light, I'm recording this in February 2025, on March 10th, ISO goes live fully, which messaging is going to move at the speed of light. Money has to move at the speed of light. And XRP, the technology and the cryptocurrency specifically, could solve a massive and will solve a massive liquidity problem. Payments are going to be faster whether you want to believe it or not. So what I truly, truly believe is that XRP is going to solve a massive, massive problem for the financial system, and there'll be other technologies as well. If you don't believe me, look up JPM coin, Onyx. It rebranded, so you have to look at the rebranding. But JPM, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon created their own blockchain technology like Ripple, like XRP. Wells Fargo's with R3. Within Ripple, Bank of America's patent, you have Ripple, faster payments, okay? So XRP solves a massive liquidity problem. So when I invest in things that I understand at a very, very deep level. So I understand in my paradigm that XRP is going to solve a massive problem, okay? Now XRP, currently as I'm doing this video, I think it's sitting at $2.40. I believe that that is extremely, extremely cheap. Even if it gets to $7 and $10, I believe in the future, way future, 6 years, 10 years, 2030 or the next bull run, I believe that if people are buying at $7 and $10, you're biting the bottom of the new top. So I don't invest in the short term, I invest in the long term. So XRP is my number one holding and Bitcoin is my number two. So those are the reasons why I hold Bitcoin and XRP, and it doesn't matter what someone else's, opinion is on it. I do it based on the logic that I understand, because what I invest in, I stand on. What I talk about on my channel is what I actually do. I don't ever talk about anything I'm not doing or something I'm involved with or something that I own, and I think that's very, very important as we build this authenticity journey together. So Bitcoin and XRP, I believe are going to be number one and number two, and they are number one and number two in my portfolio. So comment down below, what's your number one and number two? Warriors, rise, get your shit together, let's go.